Welcome to the Earth is Ghetto podcast. We'll just jump right into the mental health of it all. How
well, we both sad, girl.
How are you?
Well, better now that I got a little alcohol in it. But that's really my mental health, though. I'm just in survival mode constantly. But the wine is getting me through it, honey. That's all I can say. I mean,
listen.
The election is 46 days away.
Oh God, you counted?
Yeah, because liberals are keeping up with it.
I'm
like, oh my God.
Oh God.
So
I want to sleep through it.
I will be tucked in. You already know why. I'm not really this high. This isn't a celebratory moment.
No.
When she wins, I want y'all to know that.
And she will win.
Yeah. But also, I'm keeping in the back of my mind, we know how 2016 went down.
Oh yeah.
And they were saying, oh, she's hitting all the
she's and then the Electoral College came to fuck us in the ass. So
the Electoral College said, you're a female. Now they might say you're a female and black.
Not a coochie.
So in the back of my mind, I am preparing myself for this tangerine tyrant to possibly win the presidency.
I'll be honest with you, I don't, maybe I'm also hoping, I don't think that he's going to get it. But I do want to go ahead as far as like mental health and everything is concerned. As I've told you guys earlier, I went ahead and I quit some plantation slave labor that I was doing. And unfortunately, the job market has not been as kind as I've wanted it to be. But just so you know, nobody's going nowhere. But it'll be a very small hiatus. I know we didn't warn you last time. It was like 7 months. You're like, nigga, what you mean? You lied to me again. I'm not. Okay? And I will be doing, and me and Aaron will still be doing lives while I am away, of course. But just to let you know, there's going to be a little space in between here and now, which is why I have pulled through to give it to you.
Okay.
Just want to let you know.
Because baby, we was hanging on by a thread, girl.
So many tears. I just be burdened. I call it Pisces and people are like, bitch, you always crying. But it's hard to always cry as much as I'm fucking crying. It's a lot of fucking energy to exert. I just want to put that fucking out there. It's not easy being a crybaby. It's not. And shout out to my crybabies. I know you're putting out a lot of energy right now. It's hard. And stay away from any dodo channels. It's not good for us.
Period.
But yeah.
So yeah, that's our mental health, girl. We just getting through it. Just trying to figure this life shit out.
Basically.
Well, let's hop into it, girl. First topic: prison labor equals slavery. So, what made you come across this?
I have been seeing, and it's not just because of Kamala Harris and her history with being for a prison labor force. Because we've spoken about that beforehand in our shows before. This is actually something a whole lot more recent, and I am realizing that this is, we've always known the way policing is by design, but we are just having all of these very dystopian examples that are ending in death of people that look like us. So, yeah.
I want y'all to remember that the way that we police today still comes from slave catching. So when we say things like abolish the police, I want y'all to do your research on abolition, number one, because when y'all hear that, y'all panic and be like, oh, what are we supposed to do then? Abolish the police does not mean we do not have some sort of security. It means that the way we are policing in America, that avenue needs to be changed. We need a completely different avenue of how we police here.
And I feel like even more than that, the way that policing has gone has been so obsolete, especially for black and brown people. We already don't call them. And when we do call them, bitches are desperate. I just finished watching Rebel Ridge. By the way, what a beautiful ass nigga. Oh,
that man is so fine.
Listen, I was just looking at his shoulders and I'm just like, wait. It's like, Sydney, put your tongue away. Okay, you know what I mean? But anyway, I digress. That's different. Anyway, for another show.
After Dark
Series. After Dark Series, for real. But I was watching Rebel Ridge, and there was specifically a scene where this woman was about to call the police, and she realized that calling the police was literally calling the enemy to her door. And of course, in the movie, it was a white woman.
Of course.
It's fine. But in reality, that's what black and brown people go through on a daily basis. Whether it is black men or black women who are fleeing for somebody else that could be black. We don't call the police. You know who we call? We call cousins, brothers, our tribe. Help me out of this. We're already not utilizing the police as it is, because we know that they're only there to protect property. They're not there to protect us. Otherwise, nobody would have used Sonia Massey's 4-year-old cousin as a human shield, and they shot through him.
Yeah.
Also, IDF trained police. But anyway, that's fine. Go ahead.
This is why community is so important, because we're all we got. It's time to stop relying on the state to save us. Stop thinking that the state will save your life. They actually hate you. And that's the reminder. Okay, video.
A man was recently executed by the NYPD over not paying his $2.90 bus fare. They were so bloodthirsty they even found a way to hit 3 other innocent bystanders. 1 woman in the head, 2 people are in critical condition, and even found a way to shoot another cop. Say they feared for their lives. He pulled a knife. All eyewitnesses say he had his hands behind his back. Now, all I'm seeing on the internet is criticism, criticism, criticism. A whole bunch of people calling them bad cops. No, those are good cops, great cops even. The Supreme Court has already ruled the police have no obligation to protect human life. Their job is to protect property. Like, if you don't start executing people for skipping out on their bus fare, what if 100 other people do it, 1,000 other people do it? Now you're out on nearly $3,000. My goodness, what will that do to shareholder value? That's the thing a lot of y'all don't understand. Human lives are nothing but rounding errors for corporate profits. We're out here mourning the unjust treatment and slaughter of black and brown people instead of focusing on the real victims. Why is nobody checking in on the shareholders? I know there is no better example of like black faces in high places won't save us than the mayor of New York. Like literally a former black man turned police officer turned mayor, right? Literally got up on a press conference and said, well, he was a career criminal. Did not criticize the police one time. They so remorseless, the victim's mother didn't get so much as a knock on the door. They left a post-it note. She found out through the news. I'm not really a big fan of people getting on the internet to be like, well, we've tried everything. I don't know what's left. Violence. Have we tried violence? I'm just kidding. Actually, I can't say that.
By the way, the unison in that was great. We're like, have you? Sounds like we haven't yet.
Right.
But your thoughts before we move on to the next video.
I want to remind y'all that there is no such thing as a good cop, because these good cops are going to protect the property over everything. They don't give a fuck about your life, even if it means they have to shoot another cop by accident to protect that property. What's happened?
Just now. that actually, like, they're not being facetious. It just happened. They shot another police officer over somebody's $2.90 fare. So at this point, you want to make it so that black and brown people are so afraid of not having money. Because remember, this is what it all boils down to. Let's be for real. This all boils down to economics. This all boils down to where you are money-wise. So for any poor people, you will understand it is fatal for you to go against the establishment. Fatal. You will die fucking with us. That's what they're trying to. I need you to understand. And just like Aaron said, that's always been the message. You will die fucking with us. That's always been the message. That's never been anything different.
Either you're going to be dead or a slave in prison, because you don't get to be homeless in this country.
Not anymore.
And it's all connected again, because they're still using the slave catcher tactics. Mm-hmm. If you dare to be homeless, you will be a slave in prison. If you are homeless, you are seen as a runaway slave.
Your existence is literally antithetical to society now. I need you to understand what that actually means. They're literally saying, because you are poor, you do not belong to live amongst people. I hope you realize what they're actually saying to you. I don't feel like y'all are getting it.
And we've been conditioned. This is how strong capitalism is. We've been conditioned to pretend like we don't see homeless people when we're driving past them. Because you're homeless, This is what you get. You're not adding any value to society. You're not a productive member of society, as they say. So we've been conditioned to pretend like they don't exist.
Literally. Literally.
And it's so fucked up. It's all by design.
I wish I could stop saying it's getting dystopian. It's been dystopian for a really long fucking time.
So when the next time we pretend like we don't see them, remind yourself, poverty is not natural.
To anyone. But also think to yourself, how are we supposed to be the intelligent human beings, but we pay to eat and live and animals don't? But they're the dumb creatures. Just think about that. Swallow it, swallow it, swallow it, swallow it. For you, please.
Like, we live on this floating rock in a vacuum of space, and we said, you know what? Let's invent things like the IRS.
When was that? Okay, so we know that the credit was done in the 80s. Was the IRS also done in the 80s?
I believe it was.
You know what? We're also going to load this up on YouTube. Anybody who's listening, look that up and put that in the comments as to when IRS actually was established. Because this shit was recent, bitch. The shit was recent.
Another video.
In order to help everyone else. How the fuck can we help anyone if our freedom is taken away, genius? Please let me know. This 100% is the same talking point that the average German civilian had during the rise of Hitler. You're talking about putting us first, meanwhile NYPD just shot 3 civilians over $2.90 of bus fare. And who trains NYPD, you might ask? Israeli terrorist forces. America has sent enough money to end houselessness in America multiple times over to Israel to continue a fucking genocide for the past few years. Israel just detonated people's mobile devices in mass, injuring almost 4,000 people in Lebanon just today alone. And guess what we all have? Mobile devices, you fucking genius. If you think the country that funds all the terrorist acts of Israel will not detonate our fucking phones just on a whim because they feel like it, you're fucking delusional. Are we gonna act like Kamala Harris has not been enacting a fucking genocide against black and brown people in America for her entire political career? Are we gonna act like the Supreme Court did not step in and stop her overpopulation of prisons? Are we gonna act like she didn't fight against that because she was opposed to losing her prison labor force, which is slavery of black and brown people? Are we gonna act like she is not dedicated to sending all of our taxpayer fucking money to a terrorist state? People here are food insecure, housing insecure, no health care, and guess what? All of our fucking money is going to Israel.
Woo! Girl.
First of all, that's a fine ass man. I don't know how old they are, but I know I'm too old, but I just want to let you know. If you ever see this, beautiful yellow ass nigga. I swear to God.
Not yellow.
Oh, what?
No, but for real, shout out to Khalil. We do follow each other.
Khalil does not follow me. I just follow Khalil, but that's fine.
Yeah, he be speaking shit. Like, he be speaking truth.
Listen.
And that's like, y'all are still trying to black girl magic this girl. Like, I knew y'all would. I knew it was going to happen. It's giving BET awards, feel good vibes. Bitch, I'm tired of, bitch, I want my bank account to feel good. I want my mental health to feel good living in this capitalist ass system that we live in. Neither one of these conventions, by the way, the RNC or the DNC, talk about how they're going to end poverty. You want to know why they didn't talk about how they're going to end poverty? Because that would mean you would have to, in and of itself, end capitalism. Neither party is about that.
Ever.
And that's why we're not voting. Woo. But yeah, I did hear about that shit in Lebanon.
4,000 people from our cell phones. But you're not scared. You're not scared. You're willing to go ahead and put your vote. You know what? Let me shut
you still want the next iPhone. You want the iPhone 16 that's about to come out. But you not. I can't.
I'm gonna go on. I know for a fact we're gonna go on an Apple rant before the end of this damn show. I can already feel it. But continue.
It's just, when is it enough? What's it going to take for me to be like, it's not going to take anything, because as a billionaire, sociopathy. It's really unfortunate.
Oh yes, and this is something I wanted to talk about. I don't know if we've talked about the Chase glitch. I don't think we've had anything to say about the Chase glitch, and I just want to let you know, the video that I'm about to play has been what's been in my mind since I found out that the Chase glitch was a thing, and we'll just play it.
million cases that they're ready to give charges for.
So I just thought this was a fun little thought experiment that I haven't seen thrown out there yet. What if someone affiliated with Chase Bank made that original social media video which seems to promote the Chase Bank glitch? And then what if that was promoted to places with lower income demographics? And then all of those people went and did the glitch, so Chase Bank actually got a return on all of their money, plus the interest that those people are going to owe from the basically a loan they took out in their own name. And also that Chase Bank owns a lot of private prisons, so all these people that are about to be taken into custody and end up eventually in prison will probably end up in their own private prison, so they just basically got a bunch of free prison labor. Just a fun little thought experiment.
Girl, because when I say this shit is by design, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. Actually, I believe it.
Listen, I don't know if we ever talked about banking or anything like that in reference to what kind of banks. I've always been a credit union girl, will always be a credit union girl, and Chase Bank was one of the reasons I decided I was going to be a credit union girl. Because I remember back in 2015, geez, I'm old, and there was the Dakota pipeline, and a lot of people were protesting it. I remember Chase Bank specifically was the one who was sending people out there to make them go away. Then they came to my job and said, we'll give you $600 if you open an account with us today. By the way, I just hope you know, niggas was broke. Niggas was real broke. This is how you know inside was a fighter. Because I said, do you support the Dakota pipeline? And they were like, what do you mean support? I said, no, thank you.
Don't worry about it.
And when I went to Wells Fargo and I went and pulled out my money, here are these people telling me, I don't know what you're hearing about the Dakota pipeline, but we're trying to help them.
Girl, like, I speak.
So when I saw this thing happen with Chase, and I know because of the incentives, a lot of low-income people have Chase Bank. Because of the incentives, $300 to open an account, $600 to open an account. There's a lot of people that have Chase Bank. So there's a lot of people who are down in their fucking luck right now who have Chase Bank. And all of a sudden the Chase glitch happens and almost 2 million cases are going to be filed. And I promise you none of them are high income.
When I'm telling you, like, these fucking people are playing chess with our ass.
Okay, so we got to stop and tell you what just happened, okay? Sorry. Disrespectful ass nigga. Okay, so
shits.
Let me tell you something. So, my black son, not the light skinned one, my black son is a tuxedo cat. And all of a sudden, I'm here trying to talk to you, and all I hear is
just pissing.
And I'm just like, who'll drink a lot of water? And I turned around, and this nigga's like,
At first I thought the damn fireplace was going off. I was like, what's going on?
I was like, we gonna light a fight? No, it was just my son being disrespectful. Anyway, I digress. We're gonna move on. But I couldn't move past that because I heard what was that. It's fine. But I just want to also say about Chase Bank and for a lot of low income people, take yourself out of these banks. They don't give a fuck about you. I'm not saying that federal credit unions do, but credit unions are going to treat you a whole lot better than they do. Take your money out of Chase, out of Wells Fargo, out of Bank of America. Take your money out. I promise you, they are shafting you in 10 million ways, and when they fuck up, they'll get bailed out like they did with Obama. And then you'll be the one holding the bag. Take your money out these fucking places.
Yeah.
That's all.
Especially, I want to try to do mine by this, before this election, to be honest.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, before November, nigga, you gotta have to change. Obviously we can't go to the credit union I went to, nigga, got denied. Right. But listen, we all poor here. We not about to play these games. But we definitely need to fix that because I promise you, you're going to see, especially for black queer people, I need you to pay attention. I need you to have your ear to what is happening in the streets right now. They're going to stop us from leaving at some point.
Just be ready for the October surprise.
Ooh.
That's coming
Don't
up.
say that.
Every time election year happens, it's the October surprise, and they're saying that It's supposed to be an economic crash in October anyway. I need to get me a bug out bag. I've been trying to, I need to get me some things together, to be honest.
Just so, and this is gonna be the problem, because me and Aaron gonna be surviving together. They're gonna be like, oh, a bug out bag, right? I'm gonna open that bitch. It's gonna be peanut butter jelly sandwiches and fucking fried bologna, and I won't have it. I won't have it.
Look, that's it.
I need some time so I can roast some things and I can freeze some shit. You're not about to have me out here, nigga. I'm big for a reason.
We need weapons, though.
I got you.
Because these white folks are real bold, and I'm telling you, for y'all, liberals, back to y'all, because y'all are saying, oh my God.
Not the weakest links.
Y'all want to sit here and pretend like violence is not going to happen from these white folks, regardless of who wins? No, ma'am. I'm telling you now, girl, and I mean for real.
And I just want everybody to know.
If she wins, which she probably will,
yeah,
these white folks are going to act the fool. If
100%.
Trump wins, these white folks are going to act the fool.
Okay, all right then. So I need y'all to go ahead as if you're in trouble, whatever, if somebody's coming at you, you bite the dick off. I need you. No, I'm not joking. I need you to go from the stem. I need you to take that whole shit off because it's not gonna be a game
not
after
the stem.
Oh no, I'm sorry, not for you, baby. But you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
I know it sounds so bad. Hey, if it's a bitch, some of that coochie meat, I'll go.
it.
No, but you know, but if she coming at you, no, let me stop.
Oh my God.
What a chaotic show. Anyway, but still, I feel like one of the things that are the most important for us as Black queer people is that we have to create our own green books. We need to be able to have a really strong community with each other because we are going to be our own saviors. Nobody else is going to do that shit. I need you to understand. And hey, there may be some Black straight people along the way that we can be like, oh, you can come. Don't expect it.
Because, girl, aliens can blend right on in with your kin. What Andre 3000 said? Aliens can blend right on in with your kin. That's good.
That's so fine.
So fine.
That's funny. That's the only guy. No, but he's
that
like,
nigga can rap his fucking, like, that's the thing. If he was to come back and rap, bitch, he would eat all you hoes up. But y'all ain't ready for that.
Ooh. Woo. You know what? They really not ready for that. I feel like they forget who the fuck Andre 3000
Andre 3000, bitch, he said, bitch, if he said, bitch, let me put this damn flute down. And came back, bitch.
Oh, no. That nigga's pen is impeccable. You know what? Let me stop.
My favorite is your face.
One day we'll come out with a music version of this podcast so we can really have a conversation, but let's go.
Oh, we should do that.
We really should. It would be so much fun.
Video.
Understand, they see us all the same. That in this moment, right here, right now, we are all Haitians. And the fact that more of you don't realize this is extremely concerning, especially considering what Rich Lowry let slip out of his mouth. This is Rich Lowry, editor-in-chief of the National Review, a conservative news and opinion magazine. And while discussing Republican Vice Presidential candidate J.D. Vance's admission that he is willing to make up news to garner attention, in other words, just flat out lie to the media for attention, he said,
I think it was in that interview where Dana Bash says, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese.
Oh my God.
Only 2 calls. And
this was the interview misspeak by saying that Rich are mad at fine and gracious character. And I would assume that she thinks she too is a woman of fine and gracious character, because this is the same Megyn Kelly who was finally fired from NBC after a blackface controversy. I need you to understand that when they say Haitians are eating the pets, bringing HIV/AIDS to communities, they are talking about me, and they are talking about you. Every single one of us who are Black in this country, whether you arrived recently or you were brought here by force post 1619, you need to stop pretending as though the racist attacks are not aimed directly at you too, because they absolutely are. They absolutely are. So you might be at home playing cotton picking season, pissing in hot cotton, and role-playing garments with your partner for likes, clicks, and views on this here internet. But make no mistake, they want you back in your chains, in your place, post-Project 2025, and they are willing to do anything and everything within their power to make it so. When they speak, I need you to listen and hear plainly and clearly exactly what they said.
Girl, That's what I'm saying. Like, I would never understand, like, when it comes to these diaspora wars, like, why are we sitting here having debates about based on when the ship dropped us off? Bitch, we all niggas regardless.
I want to go ahead and shout out to all my Zoes. You have to remember I'm from Florida, okay? When I say me and Haitians, I have so much respect for Haitian people because I know Haitian history. Mm-hmm. I know exactly what it is they did and why white people hate them so much. Which is why white people
whoop their ass. The Haitians whoop their ass, bitch.
Like they stole something, which they did, but it's fine. So listen, growing up, my father's Bahamian. I need people to understand. Bahamians are my Bahamian father. Let's be specific. I don't know about your Bahamian dad. My Bahamian father was ridiculously xenophobic. He used to say shit like Haitians weren't good enough to clean his toilet. I remember one of my first dates that I went on. Yes, we see him. I remember one of the first dates that I went on was with a Bahamian guy. And I remember there was this little lady who came up to me. We were in Wellington Green Mall. If you know, you know. And she came up to me speaking Creole. And I was like upset because I don't speak Creole and I want to help this little old lady. She's so cute. She looked like Mama Effie. She little, you know. And I'm trying to, and then he literally stops, put his body in between us. This man's like 6'3". Put his body. What makes you think she's Haitian?
Ooh.
And I said to him, you're putting your lips on me again, you fucking weirdo.
Right.
Because what the fuck? And just so you know, these things, this rhetoric about Haitians eating pets has been going on since the 80s.
Yeah.
Still not true. Now, I will tell you, Haitians don't give a fuck about your pets.
Right.
I have 2 cats who I love dearly. I understand how much that hurts. They're not eating your fucking pets.
Right.
Now they're eating your pigs and cows. Like the rest of us.
Like Americans.
But
Every day.
have you had any like interactions with a lot of Haitian people growing up? No? I think it's because my dad was like, oh, I don't like Haitians. I'm like, I'm a fucking Haitian. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to tell me what to do. And I did several. But I think one of the things that one of the biggest issues that I had with it was the fact that he was taking the same things that white people told him and weaponizing it against people who look like us. What else are we doing? What else are we doing right now?
Using the master's tools.
We'll never dismantle the master's house. Read some fucking bell hooks.
People, you have to be very, very careful of what you say out your mouth, especially when it starts to align with white supremacist ideologies. The average white person thinks you're related to this other black person they know, just because you're black. And you telling me these racist eyes can tell the difference between you and a Haitian? Now I know we have diaspora wars, we uncultured, all this and that. But let's lock in. Let's lock in with some logic. How far is it from Haitians and other foreigners get out to just black people? Just anybody that ain't white get out. How? A black man was just found hung in a tree in Henderson, North Carolina. And they're trying to say it was suicide.
Another one happened yesterday.
First of all,
Mississippi.
there ain't a large history of black people hanging themselves. That just ain't. In all of my years, I know black people go the gun route or the pill route. That's really pretty much it. On the off chance that they do own a house with a garage, they might go the garage route. There ain't a big history of us just stringing ourselves up from trees.
It's not what we do.
So be very careful with your rhetoric.
It's not really out for
Because when you start complaining about foreigners and all this and that, well, you sound like the people that be complaining about you. Be vigilant. If there are more foreigners and more people from throughout the diaspora in this country, even though they be talking shit, so sometimes they come around with their nose turned up. It's a perfect opportunity, while others are trying to band against them, for us to band together. No time like the present. Okay? We can sort out our differences later. But you have people in Springfield actively hunting people that they believe are Haitian or other peoples from other POCs and shit. But they don't know the difference between you and a Haitian. They just don't.
What I just said.
Because it ain't about them being Haitian. Just perfect opportunity to harm black people.
Yep.
Have
If I get pulled over, they're not going to say I'm Jamaican. They're going to say I'm black.
Thank you.
Like, I keep telling you, like, this whole, I'm the only true black experience is the American one. Y'all sound stupid as fuck saying that.
And also, I just have to say, because as we talk about Haitians and what they're currently going through because of some random white man and his own issues, I just want to say I grew up with a lot of xenophobia. Whether it was being lobbed at me, or whether it was being lobbed at Haitians, or whether it was being lobbed at Trinidadians. I'm from Miami. I need people to understand that, especially in Miami, there was a lot of togetherness in reference to you being melanated. Even the darkest Trini who's not trying to be black is on your side. He'll be black until, you know, some other people come around. And he'll be like, oh, we're here. I need people to understand that what Haitians are going through right now, first of all, I need you to put respect on who Haitians are as a people. That is the one country that actually was successfully able to kill their fucking oppressors. I need you to put some shit on their fucking name. I'm not gonna do this with you bitches. I'm not gonna do it with you. Because Haitians are people to be respected. And I understand, and this is me as an American. I'm an American. Ugh.
Yeah.
But it's true. But it's true. At the end of the day, that's literally, I am a black American. And it kills me to see other black Americans go ahead and shit on Haitian people, shit on African people. I'm not talking about Tyler. Do what you want. I'm talking about everyone else.
Right.
Right? That bitch got issues. I don't have any.
That's another conversation.
New show. New show.
Yeah.
But now we are going to pivot and we are going to talk about the diddler. I need people to understand, and I know I'm going to let Aaron speak about this as well. Your jokes aren't funny. It's actually gross. As a person who has been sexually assaulted and raped more than once, it's actually quite triggering to hear you people hate on these victims. And I know you don't think your memes are hate, but you're making my rape fodder for you. The worst thing that has ever happened to me, you're gonna put on SNL. You're gonna make a joke. It's gonna be a TikTok skit. I need you to know that I love the fact that black people are able to make light of a lot of things. But I need you guys to actually have rules for this. When you make light of traumatic shit, make sure it's your own. When you want to make light of somebody else's pain, please make sure it's your own. Because who the fuck are you to make fun of Cassie or Don Richardson or whoever else? Who the fuck are you? That's it. Let's talk about Diddy.
Child, I'm not a but the 3-count indictment for Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, who called him PD, aka Love, was unsealed today, so let's talk about it. It's about 14 pages and there are 3 charges included. Count 1 is for racketeering conspiracy, and according to this website, for a racketeering conspiracy charge, the government does not have to prove that the alleged enterprise was actually established, only that you, along with others, conspired or agreed to participate in the enterprise. Count 2 is for trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. And then count 3 is transportation to engage in prostitution. So those are the 3 charges Diddy has been indicted on. Also on the indictment further down, it says that the defendant shall forfeit to the United States any and all property, real and personal, obtained or derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of any of these charges. Basically, it sounds like his assets are frozen. Now, what has also been made public today is the detention memo, which is basically a letter from the government to the judge explaining why Diddy should be held in jail and not released on bond. It's about 16 pages, and there are a few things that I want to talk about from this letter. First up, it says that he's expected to appear in court today, and worth noting, this is a federal case, so don't expect any cameras. And the document says, as set forth below, there is no condition or combination of conditions that will reasonably assure the appearance of the defendant as required and the safety of others and the community, not to mention the integrity of the proceedings. So again, this letter is to basically argue why Diddy should be held in jail and not released to the public. The doc goes into some background on the case, saying that using the power and prestige of the enterprise, Diddy lured female victims into his orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship, then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause those female victims to engage in activity, which included frequent sex acts with male commercial sex workers that the defendant referred to as freak-offs. We all remember freak-offs from Cassie's lawsuit. Freak-offs were elaborate performances that the defendant arranged, directed, did his own activity during, and often electronically recorded. Freak-offs occurred regularly from at least in or around 2009 through this year, sometimes lasting multiple days and frequently involving multiple workers. The defendant arranged freak-offs with the assistance of members and associates of the enterprise, including employees of his businesses, and it notes that these members and associates of this enterprise often staged the hotel rooms where the freak-offs happened, as well as cleaned up the hotel rooms or took care of any damages that were caused as a result of the freak-off. So there's a cliff note here, and it says that, for example, in approximately 2012 in Manhattan, the defendant paid over $46,000 to cover damages to a penthouse hotel room following a freak-off. It goes on to say that Diddy provided controlled substances to female victims so that they could and would continue to engage in freak-off, fight fatigue, physical and emotional exhaustion, and pain. It says he hit, kicked, threw objects at.
Oh yes, side note, I gotta stop listening to Neo too.
Usher.
Yeah, that one hurt me a lot.
I'm not gonna lie. You'll hear more things as we go in. Sadly, we have 3 more minutes left. But that's actually going to hurt me a little bit. I thought I'd gotten rid of all parasocial relationships, but I feel like we don't really understand parasocial relationships in general. And I'm realizing that I actually, because I didn't think I held Usher in high regard of anything until something like this happens and I realize, oh shit, I must have held him in some high regard because I'm having difficulty digesting this. This is how I know I must, and how I hope you guys realize that you may have issues with a parasocial relationship in your own life.
Yeah. It's very unfortunate, and I just really have a question for straight black men in general.
Ooh.
What is it going to take for y'all to stop hanging on to these white man ideologies? Y'all want white man power that bad?
Hey, Boosie. And
if it hits you, it hits you, by the way. Because notice, you generalize, because I've been told that. You generalize, that's your problem.
That's my problem? Generalizing is my... Okay, no, it's fine.
It's all y'all, it's none of y'all. Like I tell white people all the fucking time, if it hits you, it hits you. If these bullets flying and one of them hits your ass, that's on you.
Be better. Instead of being guilty and having to go ahead and speak up for your guilt. Because that's what the fuck you're doing. It's fine.
Dozen witnesses will confirm that they personally observed the defendant's violence towards women and or the injuries sustained by women at the defendant's hand. And then it references the CNN video that we all saw get released earlier this year. And then the next section, it says that as charged in the indictment, that the defendant, often assisted by members and associates of the enterprise, engaged in kidnapping, arson, and physical violence, such as throwing objects at people, throwing people to the ground, hitting, dragging, choking, and shoving others. Numerous witnesses, including the defendant's employees and others, observed or experienced violence from the defendant firsthand and sustained lasting trauma as a result. For example, in the early morning hours of December 2011, the defendant and a co-conspirator kidnapped an individual at point to facilitate breaking into and entering the residence of another. So they kidnapped somebody in order to break into the house of this individual one. Multiple witnesses will testify at trial to the events surrounding the kidnapping and break-in, the latter of which is corroborated by police reports and other records. Approximately 2 weeks later, the defendant's co-conspirator set fire to individual one's vehicle by slicing open the car's convertible top and dropping a Molotov cocktail inside the interior. Okay, so individual one is clearly Kid Cudi. So they kidnapped somebody in order to break into Kid Cudi's house, and then 2 weeks later, they blew up his car, allegedly. Multiple witnesses would also testify to the defendant bragging about his role in destroying individual one's car. So this other violence section ends saying that, in short, the defendant's violent tendencies are widely known. However, at no point during the past few decades has the threat of public exposure or law enforcement intervention deterred the defendant from continuing his abuse. The next section is on firearms, and it notes that during the March 2024 raid that we all saw, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s, each with defaced serial numbers, as well as large capacity drum magazines. In addition, 6 legally purchased firearms with serial numbers, some of which were stored in gun safes, were also recovered. And then there's a footnote that says that some of the firearms found during the raid were licensed to current members of Diddy's security staff. So one of the points that they're making here is that Diddy has access to and surrounds himself with firearms and ammunition. So if the court were to release him on bond and tell him not to get new firearms or be around firearms, the government is basically saying that he clearly has access to firearms through others, so that wouldn't work. The next section is about bribery and obstruction of justice, and it talks about the hotel staff being paid from that March 2016 hotel incident with Cassie, and how after he paid them, the video from the incident disappeared from the hotel server. And then it also says that in late 2023, after some of these lawsuits were filed, Diddy and other members of the enterprise made repeated phone calls to victims and witnesses, during which they provided them with false narratives of events. So basically, after these lawsuits started coming out, the government says Diddy and his people started calling witnesses and victims to try and hide what he had done. It goes on to say that while the indictment against the defendant was unsealed today, the investigation into other co-conspirators' conduct is active and ongoing. Because this investigation continues to be ongoing and other people may be charged, the government doesn't want to lay out everything that they have, but to the extent that the court has additional questions about the charged offense conduct or any other information within the doc, the government is prepared to proffer additional information on an ex parte basis. Shout out to YSL, because we all know what an ex parte is. The doc says that because of Diddy's dangerousness and that the violence has been both spontaneous and premeditated, the government says that Diddy has a disposition to violence that cannot reasonably be prevented through bail conditions. And just so we're all clear, a disposition to violence basically means that it is inherent or a part of his nature to be violent, and therefore anything you try to restrict him from doing doesn't matter because it's who he is. And so therefore he is too dangerous to be released to the public. It also says that some of the violent incidents that have happened, including these freak-offs and other threatening events, happened at his house, so even giving him house arrest isn't going to help because, again, some of these things happen at his house. The next section, because there's more, is about obstruction. It says that on or about November 19th, 2023, 3 days after Cassie's lawsuit was filed, Diddy made multiple calls to another victim of his abuse and recorded some of the calls where he was repeatedly asking the victim for support and friendship and attempted to convince the victim that the acts that were abuse were actually things that she willingly engaged in. Diddy assured this victim that if she needed him to, she wouldn't have to worry about anything else. Doc says that Diddy is indeed a flight risk, and even though his attorney now has his passport and the passport of other members in his family, and that he is in the process of selling his plane as well as his LA home, the The government says that he still has a vast amount of resources that make him a flight risk, and notes that he is facing at least 15 years imprisonment if he is convicted, and maximum of life in prison, and that this fact alone would provide a compelling incentive for anyone to flee from prosecution. But the incentive to flee is especially strong for this defendant, who at age 54 faces the very real prospect of spending a substantial portion of the rest of his life in prison. To date, it says that the government has conducted interviews with over 50 victims and witnesses, and the government only expects that number to continue to grow. The government has obtained over 90 cell phones, laptops, and cloud storage accounts, as well as over 30 other electronic and storage devices such as hard drives, thumb drives, cameras, and surveillance systems. The electronic data comes from the defendant himself, as well as co-conspirators, victims, and witnesses, and chronicles much of the defendant's criminal activity as it occurred. Basically, the video footage they got is live and in action. In addition to the firearms and electronics discussed above, the physical evidence also includes other evidence of freak-offs, including over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lube. Now, Diddy's team has proposed a bail package which includes home detention with electronic monitoring and a $50 million bond, but the government says that that's not enough. It doesn't protect people from his violence, protect people from him contacting or trying to obstruct justice, doesn't do anything to prevent Diddy from accessing his vast resources. And so for all of those reasons, the government respectfully submits that the defendant cannot meet his burden of overcoming the statutory presumption in favor of detention. There are no conditions of bail that would assure the appearance and compliance of the defendant or the safety of others. Accordingly, his bail should be denied.
So we'll see what happens, because they're in court right now. Both sides will argue their point, and then we'll see what the judge decides. Bail or no bail.
How many more days left in 2024? I hope Cassie is having a great day.
Girl.
Listen, I was going to have you play the next video, which is Don Richardson's lawsuit. I'll be honest, that was a lot. So I feel like we can just, use that for another day. But I want to talk about Diddy Kane for a second. Were you around when that was a thing? You're like, well, I'm sure you were around. Were you conscious of that happening?
Yeah.
So I remember when Diddy Kane, I don't know if anybody else does, I was very into watching Making the Band. I was there for Day 26. I was there for Diddy Kane. I remember even then, there was a lot of people that had a lot of questions about what Diddy was doing with these young children. And I know that we made a lot of jokes about these kids. Oh, well, let's go get some cheesecake in fucking New York City. And we're in Jersey. Fine, okay. As much as I do not like Aubrey O'Day, and I want to make that very clear, I don't like that bitch. No, I don't. No!
I don't like that bitch.
I'll be for real. Because I don't. But I want to say to Aubrey O'Day, you spent a lot of time saying that you had information on Diddy that you never gave. I also remember you dating one of the Trump sons. Ooh. I don't need you to come out for this. I don't. Because Dawn Richards actually filed a lawsuit and said exactly what she went through. Cassie filed a lawsuit and said exactly what she went through. Aubrey O'Day, I'm not going to pretend you didn't go through some shit, but you weren't willing to put what they were willing to put on the line.
Right.
You were trying to find a way out of this via white men's rich dick. I need you to shut the fuck up right now. With whatever is going on, I need you not to speak. Because you always talked about having information and never fucking gave it. While other people were letting you know exactly what the fuck was going on when they were ready, while you tried to breadcrumb us back. What? Go back to where you came from. I don't want to hear from you. I don't. I hope you have therapy. I hope you live better.
Bloop!
I ain't got nothing for you, baby. I ain't got nothing for you.
Also, side note, because I'm hearing this being brought up now, criticizing and holding Diddy accountable is not anti-black. I'm hearing a lot of cishet black men saying, y'all just don't like black men, and y'all just can't wait to tear black men down. My question is, when do y'all want to be free? Because you say shit like this, he's causing harm to other black folks. This is why anyone that says I'm pro-black every other sentence, I side-eye, because y'all will still defend shit like this.
How pro-black are you?
The call is coming from inside the house at this point. And that's why the folks who be saying no Diddy and all this other shit to try to disguise their homophobia, y'all are Diddy yourself. Y'all are Diddy as well.
Boosie, come to the front. My Louisiana river cricket.
Did he say something about this shit?
Left out in the sun. Yes. Yes, he did. I just want to let you know that as much as you decide that you are going to protect Diddy or defend Diddy, you are the person's computer that we are coming after. I want to make that very clear. Because you had a random, over 30 woman fuck 2 young boys because you decided that it was going to be less gay for them to do so. I hope we know we're looking at you too, bitch. You don't get to get out of this. You roach left out in the sun in June. Baked, smelling your essence. I just want you to know, that's who the fuck you are. And even more so, let's talk to the black women that still support Boosie.
Oh my God.
Do you have anything to say?
So many black, cishet black women still love this nigga. And they will also be the ones to be homophobic as soon as their nigga. Girl.
I promise you, you have a friend like mine, you're just like, what? What?
Why you being a bitch? Be a man. You must be paying something. Girl, I'm telling you now.
Black women who are deeply homophobic, come to the front. Black women who are deeply biphobic, come to the front. Black women who are transphobic, I need your bitch asses to come to the front. You don't drink water. It's why your bitch ass pussy tastes like house keys. I need to understand exactly what the fuck is happening. No one respects you. And when you think you're being the most feminine, the man who you think loves you the most is gonna call you a man. And now what?
Can we talk about how strong colorism is and how strong anti-blackness is? When y'all are out here being transphobic, do you know, especially if you're a dark-skinned black woman and being transphobic, that's crazy to me. Because how often do we hear a lot of these cishet black men, she like a nigga, why her shoulders like that? Why she so tall? Sierra, Meg Stallion,
Serena, Venus.
Come on now. Y'all ain't ready for that conversation. And anti-transness and anti-blackness go hand in hand.
Oh, they do. Because they all are under the umbrella of white supremacy. But you guys don't want to care about that. You guys don't want to actually sit yourselves in that and figure out how to do better. So instead you run. Guess what, baby? It's right here waiting for you. It's right here waiting for you because this is what it is. As a brown-skinned black woman who's 5'8" and 240-something motherfucking pounds, I cannot tell you how scared white people can be of me. Now, black men, they're like, ooh, it's a gift. That's not how white women feel. They're like, oh no, you're going to hit me in my face. And you're just like, I actually will, but not today. You got too many witnesses. Now, the issue that I'm having, especially right now, is we have so many people, especially sadly black men, who are willing to shit on us in public because of how they feel about themselves. Let's move on to the next topic and talk about the Shits and Gigs podcast with Fuhard and Jarhead. Whoever they are, it doesn't matter.
Jarhead. He do got a jarhead though. But yeah, I don't feel bad. They are getting dragged right now. I do not feel bad. If you are like, I don't feel bad for agents of white supremacy. I don't. Oh, they're black. I don't care because they're not for us. They don't
now
care.
What? Now that we've decided that, now what? Still not for us? Still not looking after us? Black women and gay people? And we look like them? Okay, cool. Just let me make sure.
These two black men had the chance to take out the misogyny war rhetoric. Mm-hmm. And they said, you know what? That's okay, because that's a default for us, and we're so used to that, and we know who our audience is.
It makes me wonder what the fuck you kept it. Like, what did you leave out? It's fine.
And it's like, you have this racist ass white man saying, these niggas had the chance, and you know what? They're agents of white supremacy anyway, so they kind of told themselves. Like, he's hanging y'all in public.
Oof.
The way
they went over their apology video, it was like, guess what? They didn't ask to take out.
The hate for black women.
They said keep it in. I want you to understand that, first of all, white men, especially with microphones, always evil. Men in general. Straight men in general. With microphones. Stay away. Run.
Ew.
Don't stay in that place. They don't respect you. And no one's gonna eat your coochie good. No one's going to. I promise you. I might. They won't.
I might.
But they won't.
Yeah, I'm tired. I don't think a lot of y'all want freedom. I just think y'all want power because, again, y'all do go through a lot of shit being black men in America. So it's like you feel like the only way to move forward is to take that power and put it onto someone else.
Yeah, literally, and trying to find a way to wield it where you feel strong.
You think that's the only pathway to success. And it's very unfortunate because white supremacy is laughing in your face when you do that because they're using the same tactics. This is what they want.
Andrew Schultz already played y'all for fools. You had 10 million followers and you went to this white Adolf fucking mustache ass nigga for 4 million.
He loves Trump, by the way. He really got up there and said, you know what? He might as well say, these jickaboos, they on my side.
Just so you know, hey, Akash, the Indian guy who's on the Flavor podcast. No, I got to talk to Akash. Hey, Akash. No, we already know it's not giving that.
It's not giving that, but still, yeah.
Hey, Akash. Hey, hi, buddy. You and I may be the same color. Your eyes are a whole lot lighter, so you feel better about yourself than me. But we're about the same shade, right? And I just want to know, how do you feel talking to your wife and children after this white man made 20 to 30 minutes of Aladdin jokes just for you? I'm sorry, are you able to hold your head up? Because you seem like a bobblehead ass nigga to me. And to the black man who was sitting in the corner the entire time, just enjoying die.
Well,
continue.
Let's listen to what these two tap dancing niggas have to say with their apology.
Into today's episode, quick PSA, quick acknowledgement.
These two chimney sweeps brought their ass across the pond and ruined their career. That is crazy. This is like girls going to Miami times 10. Because not only are the black women mad at you, rightfully so, all the girls are mad. Like, all the women are mad. I've been seeing white women bringing up stuff that they said in the past about, sexual assault and stuff like that.
Why are you doing like that?
They stayed in that foggy little time. And the men are clowning y'all too. BKA me, hi. But also, that white man is nowhere to be found. That man hung y'all out to dry.
Literally.
Like you wasn't nobody.
He ain't said nothing
He
to
was
the
playing
y'all.
racist chess.
He embarrassed
And
y'all.
y'all were playing coon chess.
Humiliated
Yeah.
y'all. Tough break, bro.
Not bro. Crazy.
Yo, so to Casanova, one day we gonna have you on the podcast. I'm gonna bother you. I'm gonna bother you, and it's okay. I'm not even gonna make Aaron do it. I'm gonna make sure you know it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I'm gonna bother you because I need you and all of your fresh ass tresses to be on the Earth is Ghetto podcast. I just want to put that out there. We're gonna manifest, okay?
I also just want to say this because I feel like I don't even think y'all forgot. I just think I just don't care because y'all are anti-black and misogyny when it comes to subscribing to it. Saying things like, well, black women are too loud and ghetto. You are a coon. You are a coon.
Can't even
Jiminy
call you
Cricket.
Uncle Tom because you need to read the book to know it's not Uncle Tom. But you're an issue. I promise you, Harriet Tubman would have shot you before they left.
How dare you take your Peabody head asses on this podcast and say, oh, ain't no beautiful black woman in Atlanta.
Yo, can I tell you what happened? No, you gotta understand. A bitch is from Florida. I'm used to seeing beautiful bitches. Shout out to Glorilla, okay? I'm used to seeing beautiful bitches. I am. So when I moved from Denver, such a white place, to Atlanta, and I got off the plane. Do you know a nigga did not even know where outside was because I was too busy following ass out the airport. I got off the plane, and I'm like, she must know where it is. Me and Mila are gonna follow the ass. Like, that's where I was going. So to have, and I define myself as a pretty bitch. To go and be like, and to be like, oh, look at all the pretty bitches. For you to be like, oh, no bodies in Atlanta. Is it because you're used to bitches with their teeth doing crisscross and going up gang signs?
There's no bodies. And
Is that what's happening? Is that what's happening? Because are you used to bitches having their under jowls just throwing up kung fu signs? Is that what happened? Which, by the way, shout out to black British women. You don't deserve this.
Also, white men, y'all saying baddies, y'all hearing white men say baddies is so cringe because it's like, girl.
Oh yeah, especially since baddies is a black person thing in general. So to have you guys go ahead and be like, hey, here's some AAVE, Mr. Schultz, that you can go ahead and still use and weaponize against people who you will never talk to or fuck.
This cracker really played y'all. He played y'all.
Fucking face.
He was playing check. Like he said, bitch, y'all talk about me. I got jigaboos that are agents of white supremacy. They on my side.
And guess what? They tap dancing on my show right now. What about you? All right.
He really said, like, bitch, if anything, this cracker planned this shit all out. He even said, oh, the black woman joke didn't get them.
Yeah, really. Honestly.
They had a chance to take that out, and they said, that's fine.
We'll leave that in. I want to know what you took out.
That's why I know, like, when y'all say, oh, that's just my preference, that shit is more than just the bedroom.
Thank you.
It's more than just the bedroom.
This has got so
jumps
much
out every
not
time.
to do with your fucking bedroom. You just want so badly to be able to go ahead and pivot and throw the attention somewhere else because you don't want to actually deal with the fact that you don't like black women. But black women are paying your bills. How many of you niggas is out there just like that?
If I had $1 for every time a light-skinned nigga say, oh, well, I was made fun of as a light skin in high school from the darkies.
I was also made fun of. I wasn't light skinned, nothing, but I was made fun of because black American children can be kind of cruel. But I tell you what I didn't do. I didn't weaponize all black Americans because some of them didn't like me. Do you see how that's different? Do you see how that doesn't go the same? Go the fuck away. Go back to England. Take you and your crisscross teeth that you put veneers on. Go back No, go back to where the fuck you come from, go back to Liverpool, and go ahead and chew up somebody else's coochie with that shit.
Child.
I'm done. So,
woo, next case. No new phones. If y'all are still trying to get the iPhone 16.
Oh, I knew I was waiting for my Apple. Okay, go ahead.
At this point, you are a lost cause, and there's no point in trying to convince you because you have the boot of capitalism all the way down your throat. If you're trying to get the iPhone 16, you just don't give a fuck about genocide. You don't give a fuck about a lot of shit. Because bitch, at least get the iPhone 11, bitch. That shit $200. That shit is refurbished. You can get that shit.
No, we want $1,400 worth of phone. And I just want to say, there are so many children who are dying in the Congo so that you could be trending. So that you can follow the Joneses. Children, your children's age, do you have a 5-year-old? Do you have a 3-year-old? Do you have a 10-year-old? They're digging for your fucking phone. And you want us to feel bad that you can't follow the Joneses the way you used to? Go to fucking hell. If hell exists, you deserve to burn. Not my ass, who can't remember how many people they've slept with. It's you. It's you that deserves to burn. Because there was nothing that came about in my whole rhetoric that made it okay to enslave children. But for you and your iPhone, apparently it's okay. I'm sorry, Mara.
No. And I also find it funny how the same people who still want the iPhone 16 are saying vote for Kamala. But I digress. I
don't know. Listen.
It's almost like they're both capitalists and imperialists and, evil as fuck.
I'm going to be very, very much for real, whether it comes to Obama or whether it comes to Kamala Harris, the coconut that fell out of the tree. I don't care. I'm going to be very, very fucking for real right now. I was growing up in a space where watching black and brown children die wasn't a big deal. I remember when Fahrenheit 9/11 came out, and I watched that. And I remember somebody putting half of a boy in the back of a pickup truck that looked exactly like my brother. And I couldn't get over it. Because I couldn't not see his face. I'm letting you know right now where we are as people who are standing on the outside. You may think that we are the enemy. And I want to let you know I'm very fucking okay with that. I'm very okay with being the misandrist, with being the enemy, with being the big black fucking murderer. I'm okay. I want to let you know that I'm okay with it because at the end of the day, only one of us knows actually what's happening here. While someone else tells you that I'm the enemy.
Well, that'll do it. Moving on, girl. Let's see what this is.
Pittsburgh Patriot for the story. There was a tragedy at Thames Elementary. A student was found deceased suspended from a tree in the immediate vicinity of Thames Elementary this morning, and the death is being investigated as self-inflicted. Shout out to Hattiesburg Patriot for the story.
So, here's my thing, right? Like, and I don't give a fuck at this point. I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say.
As you should.
Since everyone wants to uplift this cop for president.
Yeah.
Niggas are still being lynched in 2024.
Yeah.
We had someone a few days in North Carolina got lynched. Then we had someone just yesterday, 18 years old by the way, got lynched.
God.
Police are trying to cover it up as a suicide. So the fear mongering doesn't work on me. I'm fucking over it. You cannot convince me to vote for neither one of these fucking duopoly ass, corporate ass motherfuckers. Because when is enough enough? That's my thing. When is enough of fucking enough?
I feel like what we don't realize is that it's never going to be enough. I feel like another thing we don't realize is they have goals in mind. And their goals is black and brown death. Or even worse, poor people death. Because that means all of you bitches get touched.
Yeah.
That's all.
So much so that we have even poor white folks. That's how strong white supremacy is. White supremacy is so strong that we have poor white folks voting against their own interests, against their own survival even, in the name of whiteness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we can't have these niggers getting to the hospital and getting health care and college and shit.
You can't get justice before I get justice.
So for the white folks who are complaining about why health care and tuition and all this and college and all this shit is expensive, it's because of whiteness and white supremacy.
It's true.
You hate us that much that you would go through the bullshit if it means that we go through it.
We will suffer just so you can suffer more.
That's a different
Diabolical.
Hate. That's a different kind of hate.
100%. It's not the regular hate that we have dealt with. That's a different type.
I hate you so much, bitch. I will fucking suffer and go through bullshit
Just
if
so
it means that your black ass can't.
If I can think that you will suffer, I will suffer.
If I speak.
A warning to our audience, this next segment contains descriptions and images of police violence. We turn now to Mississippi, where 6 white former police officers who called themselves the Goon Squad have pleaded guilty to raiding a home and torturing 2 black men earlier this year, after first trying to cover up their actions. Some of the officers face life in prison. On January 24th, court records show the deputies raided a home in Braxton, Mississippi, after a white neighbor of one of the officers called them to complain there were black men staying there. The officer texted the others, quote, "Are y'all available for a mission?" That night, without a warrant, the officers burst into the home, handcuffed, beat, tasered the 2 men, Michael Corey Jenkins and Eddie Terrell Parker. Also sexually abused them with a sex toy with shouting racial slurs. One of the officers put a gun in Jenkins' mouth for a mock execution and pulled the trigger. The bullet lacerated Jenkins' tongue, broke his jaw, exited through his neck. This is U.S. Attorney.
White people, and I'm not trying to hit no all of us. I'm not trying to hit no not all of us. White people, y'all are comically evil.
Comic book evil. On some
Wow.
Inspector Gadget, fucking evil.
Oh my
Honestly,
this is why I can't trust y'all. And then y'all will have the nerve to gaslight black and brown folks when they say we can't trust y'all and call us racist when we know that's impossible. Fuck all of y'all. If it hits you, it hits you, like I said.
Ever been held criminally responsible for harming a black person. And we know that plenty of police brutality has occurred not only in Rankin County under Brian Bailey, but throughout the state of Mississippi. This is a history-making moment. I'm just so sorry it had to come on the backs of the pain and the suffering, the torture and the shooting and the abuse and waterboarding of Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker, our clients.
I can't bear to go to Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker meeting you in this way for what you went through that horrific January night. But I'm wondering if each of you could respond to the guilty plea of these officers and what it means to you that some of them may be facing life in prison. Michael Jenkins, let's begin with you.
I feel great that we're finally getting justice after months. At first they didn't even believe us. For a while I ain't think they were gonna even get a slap on the wrist or anything, but I feel great about it.
Wow. And I know it's difficult for you to talk with the gun in your mouth. The police shot you through your mouth, lacerating your tongue. It went through to your neck, shredding that area of your neck. I am only glad that you can be with us today. Did you think you were going to survive that night, Michael?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm still going through pain right now. My whole face, my mouth hurting right now. Let me speak.
And Eddie Parker, if you can talk about your response to this plea deal.
My thing is,
I don't even want to listen to the rest. I know that sounds terrible because that's their story, and it's not.
It's like, it's 2024, right? And white supremacy and y'all just don't care. Like, y'all are some evil motherfuckers. And I'm getting a little emotional.
Yeah.
Because I can't go out the house without fearing for my life.
And it's not right. It's not right what's happening. It's not right what's going on. And the fact that we have just these poor men who've only got their memories and their experiences to live off of, and they're hoping and praying to get justice, while black and brown gay people, or just black and brown people in general, are being killed by police officers, and you want us to keep them in our hearts and in our bosoms and to vote for one?
I can't. My life is on the line regardless of who I vote for, blue or red, because it wasn't made for people like me. And for you fucking white people who claim to be about the cause, y'all are some, like, manipulative ass people.
Yo. Y'all
don't give a fuck about us.
At
y'all
all.
don't.
At all. They don't. And they never will. And I feel like it's one of the most disgusting things ever to have to try and go through, or to have to try and make sense of. And the fact that you are okay with us trying to make sense of it tells me exactly who you are.
I'm just so tired.
I know.
And if we dare get upset, it's like, oh my God, how
you're not allowed to get upset. What can you possibly get upset over?
I don't trust y'all. I don't. And you're not going to feel bad for saying that. Call me racist if you want to. I don't give a fuck. I do not trust white people. It's in y'all's DNA to be violent. It's in y'all's DNA to be gaslighters.
And it's in y'all's DNA to go ahead and take, especially when it comes to femmes and gays, you violate them. You violate them fully and leave them by the side of the road as if they didn't even fucking matter. And then you expect us to put our trust in you. It's fucking crazy. It's actually insane.
And then for you motherfuckers to say some evil shit like, well, if you don't vote blue, it's going to be worse for you. You might as well said, well, you niggas better get in line because when you get hung on trees, we're going to laugh in your face. That does sound like a very liberal thing for you to say, by the way. Of course you would.
Did they already say that to us? Not even a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Saying that they hope that you and I get shot by police? And that there's no immunity, even though there's already.
Instead of trying to dismantle the system, of course you would laugh on the sidelines at us.
And say, guess what? I wish it was you.
Y'all are evil as fuck.
It is. And I'll be honest with you, we're not gonna... I'm going to I have a lot of things to say in reference to this, and it's because there's a lot of black and brown people who are not realizing how much of a target we are, who are trying to bend into the diaspora wars, where all of these Haitian people are being killed. Any of these Haitian people could look like me, could look at Aaron, could look at anyone who's black. And you know what you're doing? You are taking your time to be so grateful for your Americanism. It's sad. I remember it was probably in the early 90s. I must have been maybe 7, 8 years old. And I will never forget, there are a bunch of Haitian people coming across the beach because they just fucking landed. I had never seen togetherness like this before in my life. My mom stopped her car. Almost every almost every melanated person on North Miami Beach stopped their fucking car. And when I said the Haitians, whether they were on the roof or in the car, legs sticking out the window, didn't matter. We was riding, nigga. My mom was so upset she didn't get there in time. She's like, is there no one left? That's the kind of togetherness that is needed for our diaspora of black people. It's not just something we deserve. It's something we're obligated to give. Obligated. You're fucking obligated. I know black people hate to hear that shit.
Ooh, they ain't ready for that.
I know black people hate to hear that shit.
They ain't ready.
But you're obligated. Do you know why? Because these same people would have sacrificed it for you, whether you know it or not. Whether you know it or not is not my fucking problem. That sounds personal, my nigga. That sounds personal. It's not your issue. And there's a reason where Aaron and I are constantly standing up for the most melanated, the most put to the side, the most arrested. There's a reason why we're here. You know what? There's also a reason why you're not here next to us. I want to make that really fucking clear.
Wow.
So as we wrap this up, I want to go ahead and go to you for your last thoughts.
My last thoughts are to all of my black queer people. Always put your happiness first and your mental health first. We are going through it, especially during these times.
Yes.
And you weren't alone. It's nights, a lot of nights where I just can't sleep because I know where we live. We live in this fucking country. What if the fucking police come to my fucking house? What if I go outside the house and I'm fucking killed? You know, it's just, I'm seen as a threat to so many sides, all the sides. So put your happiness first and love the fuck out of yourself. Unapologetically. And that's my message.
And I will add on to that. Not only love on yourself, love on the people who love on you without abandon. Because they love on you without abandon. Please, please give what you know you've been given. They are pouring into you. Pour into them. As a person who tries constantly to pour into people, I feel so empty sometimes. Pour into those people. Pour into our black queer community because we need it. And more than we need it, we deserve it. And you have not given us any attention. And it's what you're obliged. It's what you're obligated to do. Because you are black. At the end of the day, whether you're queer or not. And for the rest of our black queer people, we are your community. Who else is going to fight for you but us?
The same grace that you give others, give to yourself. You deserve it as well. All
right. So that is going to be the end of this podcast. Like I said, it might be a minute before I get back to you, but we are coming back full-hearted and full strong. Please pay attention to TikTok because we're going to be doing lots of lives on TikTok in the meantime to make sure that you're getting all the information that you need. And more than anything, please remember that above all, being queer is African and no one can take that from you. And we will always be your arsenal.
Period.
Period.
Bye, hoes.